Dave, are these on?
Yeah, they're on.
Can you hear me? Yes. Islam, peace, and love to all. Welcome to the Moorish Heritage and History School class, and today we are acknowledging, hey Dave, can that kind of go, never mind. Today we are acknowledging us going into our 70th. But this is so apropos because this just came out a few days ago. You all saw the other picture that only showed, that only showed a portion of the Moroccan flag with the Star Spangled Banner, right? But the video, which Laquana told me that it was on the internet, my son found it. And what I did is I used the trick that David taught me of print screen. You know, you can print screen and print what's there. You know how to do that? And then save it right away. It's like copy paste. And because the whole video came in where you saw the desk and the 3 Moroccan flags and 2 Star Spangled Banners. And we had just discussed, and we have to really bring this up because it's so apropos to what we're discussing tonight, which is status. The fact that Hillary Clinton, or as a Secretary of State, cannot talk about national and or international affairs without standing behind a national flag. Oh, that just hit you, huh? You cannot discuss national or international affairs with the rest of the world that knows without having a national flag, which is the flag of the people. You see? So she can't discuss that with them, but everybody in the world knows that the Star Spangled Banner is a banner, not a flag. It's a commerce and amity, peace and friendship established it. So therefore, it is not the national flag. Not even of them. All right? It is what it is. And you'll hear in her video audio, which I would want it to play. It's only 15 minutes long, this, but we're going to have to skip that. You can go on the internet and just type in Hillary Clinton on Morocco, and you'll come up with this one that's 16 minutes long. That's the speech she made, and it's very good. She mentions it's Al-Marat. She also mentioned, as Obama has already done in the book, with his speech from Cairo, Egypt, that the first people to recognize the United States was who? Morocco, 1787, ratified 89. They already know that it's a treaty of peace and friendship. We're the only ones that didn't know and are finding out, right? So, she can't speak about national affairs without a national flag. And guess what room this is? It's the Ben Franklin room. Yeah, how about that? This is the Ben Franklin room on the 8th floor. Now, interesting. At the White House, yes. This is home. This is not, she's not somewhere foreign somewhere. She's home at the Ben Franklin House. All right? So, the other thing that I wanted to add with that, and I'm sure they may comment on it, but it's very important that we really get this and understand because of the climate. When you listen to it, you see the climate of what's going on. And Anna E. was sharing with me and sent me some videos of decolonization. South Africa is decolonized, yet we are Northwest Africa. What's up? Everybody in the world is recognizing nationality. Well, you've got it, whether you know it or not, which is what the whole mission of the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world is about. So before we go on to the floor with status, and we're going to be able to ask questions of Anna E. and Todd, and not really myself, I'm just going to say, let's see. I don't want to answer any questions. I've answered enough questions for the year. No. There's something else that's supposed to go on. Oh, yes. I wanted my Ms. Raheem. How many people are here for the first time? Oh, quite a few. Oh, peace, sister. You were in Sundays. Welcome. So there's a package that we have to give you for the first time. So we'll do that a little later on, but don't leave without it. All right? Ms. Raheem, are you able to make your introduction or no? All right. No problem. He was going to introduce to those who were here for the first time, because he's better at it than me, because, Anna E. How would you do know Anna E? Give her a warm hand and welcome her. right now. I really need to do this because I was just shocked by a sister that I had not seen, and I don't know, we didn't figure out how many years it was. However, she came to me 2008. 2008. So that is what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And she came here to New York to spend time with her daughter at the time, who was in need or ill or something. And she started visiting our classes here for almost a year, right? About a year. And she stood up in the audience one day and she declared her nationality. You know what? Declaring the nationality is when you declare it to yourself. Because we get emails all the time, how do I nationalize? How do I nationalize? And I always say, nobody nationalizes you. Nobody nationalizes you. It starts with you declaring your nationality, which is why Prophet Noble Ali said, if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Because if you declared it from within, then you can absolutely proclaim it from without, which means to publish something. Which means the writs that you write are a brief on expressing your position regarding a matter. So then if you declare it, it means you start being yourself. You see? No one can teach it. It can't be bought, it can't be sold, it can't be transferred. So we don't sell you your nationality. You can't buy your sovereignty because sovereignty comes with nationality. It doesn't stand on its own. Alright? I need to say that she stood up and declared it. And then she had to go back to California. And today, but I did not know. I had no idea. She's in New York, and she is here today, and she just surprised me. Please stand up, Sister Adriana. You never see me make that before? It's beautiful to see you again. I want to do this real quick because we want to get to the issues and the meat of the day, but I have to acknowledge a couple of people real quick here as we go into our seventh year, and that would be real quick here. There are 4 people that are going to get acknowledged, but they don't have their certificate because I bought 3 packages of the covers and not the interiors, so I'm going to mention them anyway. And I didn't realize it until y'all have to sign these. Y'all have to sign them. Because who signs these are... We'll just sign this first one. Yeah, you got it right back. I forgot. I know. How could I forget? Yeah, so we got 3 different types of awards. 3 different types of acknowledgement. One of them is only going to be 2, but one is special because of the uniqueness of what the person does. So we had to change the wording, and that's why that one is a little different. So while they sign that, any feelings and thoughts on an understanding now on when Prophet Noble Ali went and said to take the flag out of the vault? Does everyone understand the difference between a banner and a flag? No. A banner is an ensign, E-N-S-I-G-N. It's a passport. The banner is just what it says is. Remember the song, The Star-Spangled Banner? It's not a flag. The flag has a nation, constitution, geographical, and the people, seal, etc. A banner was really our way of giving a passport to allow them to pass the reports on the seas, admiralty. That's what the Star-Spangled Banner really is. Now, what they've done is they tried to take over by usurpation the land, and they try to treat you like you're on the sea when you go into the courtrooms, admiralty. But it doesn't matter if they want to go to the sea. You need to go there too. It's a treaty, but you didn't know about the treaty, so you didn't know. You know. So the banner is E-N-S-I-G-N, and it's an ensign. It's not a national flag. So with the climate of things right now, with everything going as it is, everyone must worship under their own vine and fig tree, correct? Everyone must confess their own, correct? What you're going to find out is the European doesn't really have their own, because even in Europe, we ceded Europe to them. And the person that, Europe was ruled by Queen Europa, which is a Moorish queen. All right, so they never, they're the only ones on the planet that's not aboriginal or indigenous to anything. And we didn't even name them. But what they did is they took the hours and days off of the names you had, or names that they gave you, and made it a name. And
you'll find that to be true even when you do the research that really all the names are ours. Even the Scottish, even the Irish. Yeah, because we're the mothers and fathers of civilization everywhere. The other thing that Sister Annie E shared with me too was that over in South Africa right now, she sent me some clips that I don't know if you can find them easily because they don't show all of that everywhere. They don't show it over here because, as I had said on Sunday, the television, they really do keep stuff away from us. So she has sent it to me, and the Europeans over there are actually crying about the fact they have no jobs, they have no food. They're saying that they are the descendants of the European colonists. So when they went to the UN to cry genocide, the UN told them they cannot do that because why? Why, Evelyn?
It doesn't apply to them because it's not their land.
That's what the UN told them. Genocide doesn't apply because it's not their land. Wake up. This is our land. We're home already. This is why they did this, to keep you thinking that you only came here on a boat from Africa. Not true. Now, the other thing we're going to go into today, too, and I hope Anna Eve will share a bit of that. I know she will, because we want to start at least 1 week out of the month here, a class that is for women. It doesn't mean that you sons cannot be there, but, you stomach it, because remember, you designed to fall on your sword, and don't forget that. That's what you're for. So don't get upset about the things you may not understand about the mysteries of your mom, or the earth, or what have you, which is Mother Earth and your mom, because you were trained not to. I tell you, I have a tape over here, and matter of fact, Sister Delilah from Philadelphia, Territory, Philadelphia, has taped it of my son doing the class in the cousin of Territory. I have it over there, and I actually really watched it and listened to it from beginning to the end. It is so slow. Let me tell you, I couldn't take myself away from the fact that at least my son that came on my room, because I'm not saying it for that reason, because mothers are hard on their own. So, I'm just saying that it exemplifies everything that you and I will go through trying to attempt to uplift all of humanity right now, and talking to people who may be going through their exorcism and they don't uplift them. How you have to handle them. That you have to handle. And all of the information that someone may come from different religions, like Islam, this and that, it's just wonderful. So check it out. Done? Yes. No, you're going to make one up. All right. For these two people, this one person, I shouldn't say two people, but these two people, because they come together, have been here from the time, they already know who they are just by me saying it, we started. And we're going into the 7th year, so this is not a big thing here in terms of, a class graduation. We don't really do that anymore because the problem is that we can't really give a 10-week course anymore. Too many new people come every week, and it makes it difficult. But we do want to give a orientation class. And then I remember asking Taj about that, saying, well, orientation class is just the beginning, but if you don't have a degree in the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world and know what went on, you can't do that, really, you can't. Because the answers lie there. They rest there. You will find that to be true as you study. So here we have, this is a record of completion, and it reads like this for these three people that I'm going to name off. Your energy is greatly appreciated by the Moorish Heritage and History School for your service, contribution, assistance, and commitment as we enter now into our 7th year of classes and activities. Your deeds are active in uplifting fallen humanity and is acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Noble Jew Ali at the Moorish Heritage and History School at New York, the Empire State. Carmen Perez Beck. See, they want you to say something. That's Carmen. That's Carmen. But she feels you though. Carmen is the spirit lady. She feels everybody's spirit when they come in here. She knows who you are and what you're going through. Trust me. She feels it. She might not tell you. And then of course, do it again so we can get used to this. Your energy is greatly appreciated by the Morris Heritage and History School for your service, contribution, assistance, and commitment as we enter into our 7th year of classes and activities. Your deeds are active in uplifting fallen humanity and is acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Noble Drew Ali at the Morris Heritage and History School at New York, the Empire State, Eugene Arnold Hill. Put the mic up to your face. We can hear you.
A couple of years ago, I had to seek the elders. Because I was having a problem. And I told them, I said, listen,
Put it up to the mic. We can't hear you.
this is a new world for me because I have never missed a Wednesday class.
That's right.
And it's going on all the years. With some funds, no funds, some funds, no funds. And on the other hand, I would ask them, I said, listen, I have a problem. I said, I got a little sophisticated now. I said, I used to just invite everybody for this newfound knowledge. And I told them at a conference table, but now I've become very picky because if my spirit don't agree with you and you come off nasty with me, I ain't inviting you. And they told me, just listen, go the way your spirit will tell you. And I told them, I'm surprised my wife was saying, those are the people you invited. Yeah. Those are the people you invited too. Yes. So me and Carmen have quite a few people we invited. I am so proud and so glad that we're making moves because I've learned this ain't about me. I told my wife, I'm gonna get right off this ride.
Yeah.
I want my name on an airplane and painted in the sky what we doing. It ain't about you. It ain't about you. So I can sit down and tell you that we're trying to get some land. We're trying to get anything free for the PF. We're trying to help our young ones and our children are lost without us. And we're so thankful for all you come to be with us in these classes because these classes have been my salvation.
Oh, thank you.
And we don't use no lawyers for nothing. These are lawyers sitting behind me. You got a problem, get them on the phone.
Oh, wait. Come on.
I'm good. I'm going.
All right. Here, Poppy. All right. Now, this sister, she really is going to get 2, but I'm only because I don't have the physical one, but I'll mention her again when that second one comes up, which will be in a second. And only because I said there's 2 things. And this would be, once again, your energy is greatly appreciated by the Morris Heritage and History School for your service, contribution, assistance, and commitment As we enter into our 7th year of classes and activities, your deeds are active in uplifting fallen humanity and is acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Noble Drew Ali at the Morris Heritage and History School at New York, the Empire State. This person has done so much, so fast, so helpful, and that is Sister Amira Lakwana Ear.
How are y'all today? All right. I'm glad to get this award, and I'm
Put it up to you.
all right. I'm grateful for this award, and I appreciate everyone here for helping me, assisting me in my growth. You know, I've only been here for a short bit of time, but I feel like everyone is family. So thank you, and it's long.
Thank you. All right. You know, it's interesting. This person, this natural flesh and blood being. Once again, I need him to know that his energy is greatly appreciated by the Morris Heritage and History School for your service, contribution, assistance, and commitment as we enter into our 7th year of classes and activities. Your deeds are active in uplifting fallen humanity and is acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Boy, has he been in honor working it outside and inside of these walls. But however, it is an acknowledgement here at the Morris Heritage and History School at New York, the Empire State. Bambada Asim Bey. We really appreciate you, because for those who don't know, Bambada is how we got here. Bam. Thank you, sweetie.
I'd like to give honor to the great Supreme Force Allah and to all the brothers and sisters. This is an honor to all of y'all who do the work for the people, by the people, all the time. It's about solidarity, it's about unity. It's about getting in the streets and waking our people up. It can't be just coming here and feeling good on Wednesday or coming and feeling good on Friday in school. It's about getting back in the streets, teaching our people, organizing our people, and getting up and do something for self. So with that, I'd like to give honors to all of y'all. Right. Peace and blessings to all of y'all. And I thank you.
Just for those who don't know, when we first came here, we were on 125th Street in front of the juice bar outside, dealing with books and knowledge and information, me, you, and nature. And then it was Jack's place, or Soul Brothers Boutique that we went inside of, because the people said, "Can you come in and do classes?" And the first class was myself. No, it was Taj and nature, and then it was astrology, myself and Taj together. And then from there, because it grew, it was a small place, and they grew. Their business grew, and our business, and not our business, their business grew, and our business there was in the way, but it was positive, not in the way, but they were growing and they needed their space, because we were in the back room, that kind of thing. So at the same time, they needed to expand, and so did we. And Bambada is the one who got us to be right here in this building 7 years ago. Now, Brother Azariah, well, that's another story. Because when we were out in the street, we had Brother Azariah or Azaziel assist us in making sure that we always had our spot when we came. Now, the other person, Bambada, did you take the award? No, you don't have to get back up. We'll send it back to you. Could you do that too? Thank you. All right, now this is a different kind of. Well, first of all, is Sharif Malik ill here? Well, he gets an appreciation award as well, and Shah Allah does as well. So Shah Allah, yes, I just don't have your physical, but you have got to come up here. Shah Allah, your work has definitely. Let me tell you, you are absolutely appreciated. Yeah. You've done so much.
Thank you. Y'all can show y'all appreciation. Yeah, y'all can show y'all appreciation. I'll pass my fez around. Y'all drop in whatever y'all want.
And also, Almac Kembe. Yes, we appreciate everything you've done. Please don't go my mom. You're not going to come up and say anything. I want to make sure I have it's this, right? Tell me that this is how you spell it. Olmeckham, right? All right, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
All right. No, it's the other way around. Kem Olmec. All right, that's what I thought. I see, he said that, that's it. That's all you're going to say, thank you. All right. And lastly, Mutaz Raeed Bey. I'm gonna hold your
Islam Moss. How you? How you been? Well, thank you, and I'm glad I'm part of this movement. I've been a part of it for a while, and all the beautiful energy in here. It's like the paparazzi or something. I'm just so proud to be here, and I love it. Thank you, thank you.
He's a comedian.
Yes. Thank you. That's all I can say.
All right. Excellent historian. All right, so that's for the appreciations. And then lastly, we have four other ones. This is different, a little. This is called, and Taj named it, the Neophyte Achievement Recognition. What does that mean? Anybody know what that means? Neophyte. You know what a neophyte is? You mean you're new, you're initiate, you came in. This is to describe those people who came in, light bulb came on, and they were like, yeah, they didn't stop. Like, you know, you go to 0 to 100 in 20 seconds or something. This is what this means for those people. All right? And so for what it reads is, you are recognized, for their, all right, this way. It's Michael J. Daphnis Bey here. Okay, he's not here. All right, let me use this to read what he's going to say. Michael J. Daphnis Bey is recognized for his sincere studies and application of educational and uplifting information, and serves as acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Noble Drew Ali at the Moorish Heritage and History School at New York Empire State. We trust your studies will be beneficial to yourself, your family, and to the nation. Amira Laquana Ill gets one of those also. Give her a hand for that. Is she here? Oh, there she is. You get one of those as well. All right? All right. Now these two, it may seem like it's old, but these two, and these are some of Annie's personal favorite sisters. And that is this is a record affirming that Sharon Peter Ill, is she here? She's not here. Well, she'll be here later then. Is recognized for her sincere studies and application of educational and uplifting information, and serves as acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Noble Drew Ali at the Moorish Heritage and History School at New York, the Empire State. We trust your studies will be beneficial to yourself, your family, and to the nation. I'm going to give this to you. If you don't get you don't get to see it. All right? And another one. Same thing. And that is, the way it reads, I have to say the name first. I like to say the name for last. I know she's here because I saw her. She's going to receive recognition for her sincere studies and application of educational and uplifting information, and serves here, which serves as acknowledgement of the honor of Prophet Drew Ali at the Moores Heritage and History School at New York Empire State. We trust your studies, we know your studies have already been beneficial to yourself, to your family, and to the nation, and that's Miss Betty Page Hill.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All the brothers that talked to Betty, see, that's because Betty went to visit Anna Eve one day. She took herself all the way to Connecticut, sat down with Anna Eve for a day. Yeah, for a couple hours, whatever. But all the brothers that talked to Betty, you know what they said? All the sons that talked to her, they said, Betty don't play. Because she don't. Now there's another, all right. I'm going to say that one last. We did Michael J. Daffis, but he's not here. So, there is another recognition that I don't have physically, but I do want... No, let me do it this way. I'm going to do this last one. This person's probably going to be a little bit surprised. I had to change the wording a little bit. This is... Your energy is greatly appreciated by the Moores Heritage and History School for your service, contribution, assistance, and commitment, particularly for the vegan food for our body. We look forward to your continued services as we enter into our 7th year of classes and activities at the Moores Heritage and History School at New York, the Empire State. Vashti Whitell. She got hit now. I know she's surprised. She has it. Listen, I gotta tell you a story. I haven't tried to find people to feed. We're too small for the big guy, and too big for the little guy. And she's right. She's really the big guy. She has a couple of restaurants. In fact, she's happening. Thank you. She said, yes, I can do anything. Thank you. You don't understand. We have tried to keep someone that provides the vegan food, and like I said, we're too small for the big guy, too little for the small. Too small for the big guy, too big for the little guy. She fits just right because she's been doing food. She has her own restaurant in New Jersey, or 2 or 3, maybe 5. I don't know. How many is what she's going on, but I know she's sufficient unto us for the food. Has she not? Give her another hand. That's why it's food for our body. All right. Lastly, but I don't have their form with them either. Brother Azariah, is he here? He's not here? Huh? I can't hear you. Oh, well, no. Brother Azariah went outside to smoke his cigar. However, the next person that I was going to call is Sister Majay. Bring that up. Bring those things with you. Majay. You got it with you? She's going to kill me. Well, now, your energy is absolutely appreciated here. Absolutely. All right. Everybody knows that, correct? This is to make jewelry through the spirit. She can look at you and see what you need to have, and she does it in such a way that when people are on the train, they can look at each other and say, "You got that from Majay?" That's how. And her website is majay.com. You recognize it. Anybody who has her jewelry, you can tell she made it because it fits you. It's not gaudy, but it's just beautiful. It has a special art. So what I did today was, I had her make 2 pieces of jewelry, and from here we're going to go on because also you get an award, but I'll give it to you next week for the neophyte. Yes, we'll do it next week though. I didn't put it. I didn't know your full. Could you just hold on? Don't move. Your full. All right, Karamali L. I don't have to spell it. He also gets award for the neophyte. I recognize, yes, you did. Let me tell you why. He came in, and the next time I saw him, he's from South America, right? You're born here, but your family's from...
No, what happened is I was in South America on a tour, and I met with the Ketchum, and I was in Tiwanaku at the ruins, staying in the area. I was like, why does this place look so much like Kenya? And she pulled me away from the Europeans and said, you were over here. And so it kind of just opened the gateway, because I didn't even know where the Ketchum was before. And for her to know, I was like, whoa, so yeah.
And your studies were going on, and then you came here, and then we watched you grow quick. Next thing I know, you came and you had a fez on, and I was like, oh, all right. Now, last but not least, Majade, your energy boy. I don't know what we would do without your energy boy. You're a beautiful sister. Isn't she? Who's here? Now, and as a result of that, I asked Majade to make something special for our two guests today. From the Moors Heritage and History School, she has a special something for. Is that anything?
This is for which one want to do first? Taj or?
Decided sister first. I had her make something for Sister Annie Edith. You did it right. I told you she only wears black and copper. No, she wasn't. Okay. I hope you like it. I told her only black and copper. I told her only black and copper.
This is
You like it?
Yeah. This is hematite.
Oh, hematite.
Hematite and it's hematite pyramid hematite. Okay. Yeah, she gave me the visual, so I had the visual while I was making it. And this is copper here. And copper pulls the toxicities out of your body. So this is a healing piece. So this is
Thank you.
Thank you.
that's not it. You gotta have the goddess bracelet.
Oh, right.
So the matching goddess bracelet has the pyramids once again, and it's magnetic. You know, so it pulls wonderful energies towards you.
Yeah,
Put it on
right.
the spinning. Wow, that's
But I can get married.
You are married to the coming She is now Majade. Wow, look at that. Majade, that's beautiful. Look at that. Wow. I always like it because I know you owned her. You did. I told you she would. I told you. She only wears black. I know she likes copper because we're both Libras and Venuses, and copper's the metal. That's wow. I like it.
Oh, wait a minute. There's something. Oh, it's something else.
Oh, she got something else? It's hard to please her. You know, people always say, why does she just always wear black?
I know.
What do I tell them when they say,
Weighing down the bus.
oh, she has beautiful ones too.
I do.
Those are beautiful. It's copper and hematite. Wow. We made it out. See, I told her to give her the description, and she just fit her.
This is the back.
Because you're only going to wear black, right? You never tell them why you want to wear black.
I should have told me to do it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, right. People say, why is she wear black? That's a witch though. A witch is wise one. Women are wise ones. They were called, remember they cut off the heads of all the witches? So supposed witches of Salem, which is the place of peace. It was us that they did that to. So S's and T's and B's are interchangeable. So she's a wise one. We're all witty and witches.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah, okay.
Let me know when you're ready
to go. She'll do it. And lastly, of course, we wanted to get. Oh yeah. Oh, he's gonna need that stuff. We got a gift for Taj. This is for all their services. Keep him in the purple color. Food and jewelry.
Good to touch it. Okay, this is the purple plate. And if you're
Purple?
yeah, purple of course is the protection color. And if you're like
Talking to the mic.
if you're in the company of like computers and a lot of electronics, this pretty much protects you. And it's also called the Tesla plate. And as you can see, I put a little copper wire there in the shape of a pyramid, since I know you like your pyramids. And also it has the hematite pyramids and magnets. So magnets are good for circulation and bringing positive energy to you. So this is
That's our appreciation. That's our appreciation for Ty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is your bill.
This is my bill. All right, see, this is the bill.
Thank you.
Oh, not bad.
No, not at all.
Yeah. She said, no, not at all. I'll give you my own thing.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, I'm here.
Boom. All right. We got through that. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for loving what I love and live to do. And it just makes me so happy to see everybody walking around with my pieces. I call it my pieces of peace. PEAC, meaning people entering a conscious environment. And they're also my children. So it's so good to see my children walking around, and I give thanks to them. Blessings.
Islam. I self-love message. All right. At this point, Majade, my friend Asiaticus, the sister I just introduced, look at her and see what you see. She might want to take that to California. Stand up, Asiaticus, so she knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, she needs a special piece too. At this point, we're done. And we are now going to bring the topic of status to the table. And who's going to bring it in? We already decided that it's going to be Brother Taj Sharif. Now, it's an important issue right now because status is your relationship in the community, your standing in the community, your relationship to the community, but it is not a mere relationship. It is a legal one. So let us explain that, and then you guys will get a chance to ask questions. We'll have a couple mics out. So we bring you Taj Tariq back. It's on your tongue right there.
Status in society, always look at status and estate as synonyms in social interchange. Status is the standing, the state, and the condition of the individual, the natural person in relationship to third parties and the state. It is not a mere relation. It relates to the capacities and the incapacities of one exercising rights or claims in society. Status also relates to estate, the capacity of one to speak, to claim, or to have right of property or the determinations of what one can do with property or not. So when you're talking status, you're talking estate. And estate involves those things corporal and incorporeal, ETC. That's what I'm saying right now. I'm trying to get away.
That's how to get away.
Islam. How many people have a clear comprehension of status? How many people need some help clarifying?
Talk right into it.
How many people need some additional information regarding status?
All right.
But to be honest, Let them come and ask the questions.
You know what?
I got you. Yes, look up. Yes, we do. Ms. Reed, you got the Black's Law? Right there.
Let's have somebody read the definition of status from the Black Law.
You still get the Black Laws?
And yeah, status as well as the state. You know what? It's so funny because I had that information on me. You gonna read it?
Does someone want to read it? You gonna read it? I got it. You can use that.
And you know what? You might want to do this when you get to the computer or when you get home. Go online and look up the etymology for status.
Status. Yeah.
No. It's I think it's state. State takes you to status.
Yes, a state.
And it's because really it's really interchangeable because what they did was they took the E off of state.
Estate.
It's really estate.
Yeah, Ms. Reed, he was looking at it.
And you can never have an estate unless you have status. Your status is your nationality. It ties you into an estate. So status is absolutely important.
Islam. Status. Standing, state, or condition. And then right here it goes into various case laws and the rights, duties, capacities, and incapacities which determine a person to a given class. A legal personal relationship, not temporary in its nature nor terminable at the mere will of the parties with which the third persons and the state are concerned. Then it goes into more case laws, and down here it says, it also means the state, because it signifies the condition or circumstances in which one stands with regard to his property. In the yearbooks, it was used under this sense: whole versus, to give you more case law. Islam. Should I leave it here?
Leave that.
Islam. So as you can see, status, state, and estate, they're all related. So we might want to individually, when we get to a computer, when we're in our studies, go and do some further research on that, and also look up the etymology, specifically the Latin word for all three of those. All right?
Yes.
Oh, what are you doing? He's trying to mess with.
Pick on because we were on the radio station the other day, and she was blasting. Now she's chilling out.
You know, it's really good to do that. It really is.
Yes! You remember now why you wanted to leave. Oh, I'll leave this here.
Back and to be here, not teaching, sharing. And what I say all the time is I want each and every one of you to have the same information I have so we can all be doing the same thing and can be doing even greater things. So my hope is, or my desire for each and every one of you is to study fast so we can all do the same things together.
For those who have limited comprehension on status, come and ask questions.
Yes.
Put the mic down. Ross, take a stand for those who want to ask questions.
Oh, no, we have two wireless mics, and I'm just starting out. And
Also,
what is the problem? They don't work or it does work? I thought 3 months to work on that thing. No? Can one work? Can one work? Can one work?
well, while they're working that out,
She need a multi-head?
Yeah.
one of the components of status, there's several important things regarding status, but one of the most important things about status is it determines the law that is applicable to you.
Yes.
And which is why we go back to declaring your nationality. As a Moorish American national, what law applies to you?
Common law. No, the zodiac, the law of the universal law.
Is that it? Come on.
Universal law, which is from your own
Go
self,
ahead.
from your
Yell it
heart.
out. Yeah? Natural law. Anybody else?
This one.
Good. Treaty, peace, and friendship. Tied,
what about these two?
Tied to what?
Yeah. Do they work?
And Article 6 is in what? What constitution? Remember, law is specific. So we're talking about what United States Republic Constitution of North America. Which one?
Is this broke? So, will it work or not work?
Only work if it'll stay on.
Always reference
Well,
the year
then
1791.
you need to tape it. Yeah, tape.
Only law on this
I mean, because now that means we don't have one. We're missing one mic. We don't have three. We only got two.
the law on this country.
And one wireless.
The law of the land. Now let me run something by you that is blasting this.
You don't have to. You have tape. Because see, this is broken.
Just take that to it.
Well,
Jamaica. Anybody from Jamaica?
wow.
How about Haiti? How about Trinidad?
Like this. And like this.
Guyana?
It's supposed to screw, but see this one?
Anybody?
snug. I got you.
And then this way I'll give the cordless to them.
Let me ask you this.
Here, I can stand
If you're
over here,
born
but they too have the
in
cordless.
any one of those places, are you
Salah.
still Moor? Yes. Why are you
Did you run in for something?
No, I just got him a
Let me explain
Did you run in for
what
something?
Europeans are trying to convince you
I'll get
of.
another one.
That because you have a great body of water called the Atlantic
Does this one work?
or the Pacific, it creates some other planet that is not planet Earth. Therefore, it's not the land. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Great bodies of land, of water on
Okay,
land.
so
What is
these aren't
underneath
working yet.
the great bodies of water?
I need these to be working. I really do.
Islam. So for all of you who know people who are from Great Britain,
Yeah, but it's too short.
or rather, I should say,
I'm not
one
typing at
on
all.
the part of the land that is called Great Britain, or the part of the land that contemporarily is called Jamaica, Trinidad, Dominican Republic, those places do not determine
This
your
one will work for
nationality.
here. This one will work for here, but we need two more for either
They
side.
just mark how to get from part A to part B of the land. They have nothing to do with nationality as it relates to human beings. Blood has everything to do with it.
Juice sanguinis.
Exactly, just sanguinis. How many people have read the Moorish Proclamation? It's free. It's right on the website. Yeah.
It's really inspiring.
No, I don't. I would
I can't get on the
encourage you
website.
all to go up onto the website. If you can get a color copy of it, you will actually get the seal in color. It's in color on the website, right? Yes. Yeah, so that Moorish Proclamation, it is a study tool
All right,
in
the other one he
itself.
took to tape it.
All right? Islam? Islam. So get that Moorish Proclamation, because that proclamation went out to the international family. Because of that proclamation, Chicago issued another proclamation in 2011.
Yes.
They previously issued a proclamation in 1985. So they reissued the proclamation, let's see, December, we sent ours out to the international community August 4th.
Yeah. So
The first proclamation to acknowledge the wars came from Chicago, December 2011. Several other corporate states, a total so far of 9, right, Beth? 9?
How many
It's 9. It was 9 the last I counted, but I think it went up. Trenton was added onto it. How many are there? Do you know me? It's 11, right?
11.
That's counting the mayor of D.C.
The mayor of D.C. from...
acknowledging January 8th as local body day.
But that happened a few years ago.
That was 2010.
Yeah, 2010, the mayor of D.C.
2011, January 8th, 2011.
All right, and you found the
They
number.
all know who we are.
Patterson,
Can
They absolutely know who
Can we
we are.
slide this over a little so I can
So,
set the stand up and use
I
this
want
mic
you
for
all
the
to
stand?
recognize that when you go into these courts, you're not going in there to tell them who you are. They know who we are so well, they're trying to be us. All right? We need to get up on our law. And the reason why I asked what law applies to you as more is because the law of the land, according to the United States Republic Constitution of 1791,
This one doesn't
is
seem
the
to be working.
Constitution of
Sounds like it.
1791, which is tied to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1786, which was
Supreme Law of Land.
which was then followed by the Treaty of Peace
Yeah,
and Friendship
no,
of
the ordinance of 1787.
1787.
Yes, and then there was followed by the signing of 1787, and then superseded 1836.
1836. Now, the interesting thing about the treaty, let me also say this. In the Constitution, it says that all treaties and laws that were made prior to the Constitution are all in effect. That means that your law, the law of the land includes the Article of Confederation, the Declaration of Independence, the Article of Association, as well as the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. That is your law of this land. The land being planet Earth.
Articles of Confederation.
Excuse me?
Articles of Confederation.
You have the Constitution for the United States of America, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, Articles of Confederation, Declaration of Independence, and the Articles of Association. That's the law of the land. The land is planet Earth. You follow me? Planet Earth. That means the Constitution is the law for all nations on the earth. Why is that? Because the Constitution is divine law. It was never written down. We inherently comprehended divine law, and that's where we operated from. It was written down for Europeans because they inherently do not comprehend divine law and need instructions. That's why it was written down. Islam? So therefore, we need to study our law. If you want a place to start, study your law. Studying it does not mean reading it. Studying it means that if I point to you right now, at any given time, you'll be able to verbally express to me what any part of the Constitution is saying. It doesn't mean that you have to memorize it, but you must know the spirit of the law and be able to interpret it and apply it. Islam?
Islam. Thank you.
You need a mic. Do you mind coming up to the mic? And I'm hoping that testing. Can you hear me from here? Can you hear me? All right, good. So if you would speak into this mic, then we would hear you. And for those of you who don't want to come up, we have a cordless that we could have brought around to you.
Islam. I recently had a name correction application that the Queen gave me to fill out, right? And with it, we have a questionnaire to answer questions. And the Queen really told me, well, it's really not that important if I fill it out, I guess because she sees me coming here, right? But I just want to say, fill that out, okay? And filling out that questionnaire, it took me about 2 weeks because I didn't want to call, and I got all the books, and I went through all the books. And it's amazing because you find out so much information, and I'm realizing it, is that you're going to be a Moor, and you're going to start feeling it in your heart. You're going to feel it in your soul. Because when she gave me that, and I said, yo, Queen, I'm going to bring you back so you can check it. And then she said, here's the other one. So she gave me the second questionnaire. And the second answer said, please do not give it to your instructor for her to check. So, so many questions that we have, right? If we have patience, right, and we just take our time and we just get these books. Let me tell you something. These books are not here just so they can make some extra money. Because let me tell you something, the time and the effort that you put in, that they put in those books, man, for $5 or $3 and $10, man, that is priceless.
Thank you.
Okay? So I just want to say, it is priceless. And going through the literature, Brother Taj, this question is to you. Because I know you was breaking down the Constitution, you was breaking down the Dred Scott case.
Yes.
Okay, Stanford and Dred Scott case, and I just want to ask you a question. Because you said that in this, if I'm correct, right, in the status that the judge ruled, right, plaintiff in error, is it because he went to the court to say I'm a free man, but my name is Dred Scott, so I'm still a slave? And then with that, you have said that the KKK, right, that we shouldn't really be mad at the KKK. We look at the KKK's platform, right, and we substitute us where they say KKK, and I think you broke that down, that we really can't be mad. Okay, right. And then the other thing you had said that was that, and I'm a little confused on this, right, that the 13th Amendment wasn't ratified.
Article 13 Article Amendment.
Okay, I think that the article I don't know whether it's the article.
The original 13th Amendment was its 20 sections.
Yes, sir. So I'm just trying to figure out, did you say that it wasn't ratified, or it was?
No.
I'm sorry.
This is what we're saying. The 14th Amendment was never properly ratified. The 14th Amendment that so-called made these people so-called citizens with the 14th and 15th. The 14th was actually created to cover up the 13th, the original 13th. Then they went back and put two points to the 13th Amendment that they have published for the public, that they put in school books. But the original has 20 sections. And when you recognize it, you recognize that people of African descent could never be U.S. citizens. The real reason why, because they were people of the land.
Okay.
Because we sanctioned the U.S.
It's not because...
And it was you're the sovereign who sanctioned it. We are the people who sanctioned that. And that is a society for Europeans, bringing them into government. And the union, or the principle for the United States operations, is to stop the hundreds of years wars between the Muslims and the Christians. This is what this original principle of this republic was set up for. And this is where you have the stars and stripes. That's an amity and commerce flag. And this is the continent flag, also called the Bunker Hill flag, also called the treaty flag. And this is the Al-Moroccan flag. And what they've done after they overthrew you is that they covered this up and claimed the trading banner to be the American flag, which is a fraud. It's an American flag for trading and commerce between the Moors and Europeans operating on our land. That must be understood. And the issue with Dred Scott is status. For instance, one of the arguments was made that because he went into the Missouri territory, for the Sanford family had taken him into the Missouri territory, where Missouri was a so-called free state. And he assumed that the territory changed his position, and that being taken to a free state, that he would be free. But the whole argument of the Dred Scott case is one of status. About a month, when did we do that radio show? A month and a half ago, I did a radio show with his great-great-great-great-granddaughter, Dred Scott's granddaughter, great-great-great-granddaughter. And one of the things that people need to understand, because the first thing they usually look at is the connotative linguistics relative to the misuse of the word racism, and that's how they usually approach it. But one thing that our people need to understand, not only without your nationality, you're considered a stateless person, but also transacting business in another nation's name, you're also a stateless person. Therefore, it didn't matter where he went on the planet, his status was neutralized. That's why he was delivered back into the hands of a slave master. Because when you act with that European name, you're simply acting as an agent and not unto yourself. And if you're not in your proper person, you're considered in law non-heritable. That means you're incapable of receiving an inheritance. This is another reason why the European families put their family names on us, so that anything that was bought by these Asiatic Smith, Jones, and Johnson constitutes a straw. Therefore, they cannot own property. This is where the term civiliter mortuus comes in, dead in the eyes of the law. And that's the status that was presented to Dred Scott. And so the case is essentially a case of plaintiff in error. It is no different than you trying to sell an elephant and he comes to the door and starts barking. It's the same thing. And it's hard for our people to understand it because for generations they've been transacting business in European names and thinking that they can do that and get away with it because generations have passed. However, it makes them non-descendable and it makes them stateless persons. Therefore, anything that we do in the straw that was created by these Europeans constitutes, in an argument in law, plaintiff in error.
I'm just going to ask this last question as I sit down. So let's say in the event of a national security emergency or whatever, right? And they want to start rounding us up. If we have the status as, it's funny because I'm thinking that I'm saying something because
you can understand that already. When you consider some people in the Second World War who claim to be somebody they're not, and they start cooking them. Because in emergency powers in war, the fundamental operations of human rights recognition does not apply. In war, they're expendable. If you're not of a nation and some national representative doesn't speak up for you, they're not going to feed you and they're going to cook you too. In other words, this is why, like for instance, the Second World War, they said what? The party's over, you don't have to go home, but you got to leave here. Frog feet, bicycle, plane, bird feathers, ship, however, but you're leaving here. And those who didn't leave, they started cooking.
That answers that.
Now, and also, it's important to recognize on those dynamics, which is the King Alpha plan.
Yes, sir.
The whole plan of reducing the populations of people called minorities is based on that Second World War and the technology that was used for human experiments and reducing the population, except now they're going to use vaporization techniques.
So are you saying, let me ask you something, is that a thing of recognizing your status will stop that elimination, or?
See, in other words, like this. This is why the civilized world, through the General Assembly of the United Nations, has declared continuously, as per the Universal Proclamation on Human Rights, the rights of a child, treaty law enforcement, and also rights of indigenous people that Obama just signed. Every one of them urges and presents the argument for these people to declare their nationality, because without the nationality, the international law of protection doesn't apply. And nationality and citizenship go hand in hand. And this is another thing in the Dred Scott case where they said descendants of Africans shall not be citizens. But it's the same principle, if you get the point. But then he was transacting business in a European name also, which made him all plaintiff in error again. So that must be understood. And it goes back to the fundamental principle of what they call the honor. So to be heritable, you must honor your mothers and your fathers. You go around this planet and start declaring and doing business in some other nation's name. Everything you buy or sell, the mark or the number of that name belongs to whomever you buy. This is why such persons called Negro, Blacks, and Color can't even vote with them names unless the CEO of the corporation signs every second breeder for them to even vote, backed up by the Senate. Outside of that, they can't even vote because their names are not theirs. They're Christian property listed in the state of Delaware as property. and moved exactly like real estate. But of course, because the people don't know law, they've been trained by the Negro leader guys to call it racism, which it is not. They're suffering birthright theft. This is another reason why the proper concept of nationality must be dispensed to our people so that they can understand its legal implications. Unfortunately, many of them think it's a belief system, which is absolutely dangerous, but it's actually a return of their estate and titles. That even sets a foundation for them to have the capacity to even make an argument. This is easy before you can learn to study or to make an argument. You've got to have that as a foundation before you can even legally make an argument. This is another reason why whenever there's a legal issue concerning such persons called Negro, Black, and Colored, or whatever they are this week, they always put a barrister of England on them, because 9 times out of 10, they're transacting business in the English European's name anyway. So they're already considered wards of the state.
Because I'm thinking, I was a double ward of the state, because I'm thinking I was saying something because my parents were from Puerto Rico, and of course I acknowledge my African, wisdom.
But
I was calling myself, I'm saying, I was calling myself, I'm just saying as far as status concerned, I was calling myself a dead rich poet. So I don't know what the hell I was.
Because that's what it means. See, but what it can, see, because all the brothers in the South, that's the Taino tribes.
Yes, sir.
Taino tribes. And they're Moors. You got Taino and Carib. All those are Moorish tribes. And so Puerto Rico is a designation just like Negro. And see, so after they murdered a lot of our women and children, a lot of our men and women, they took the younger women and they made them sex slaves for the priests. But for the most part, they pretty much wiped out most of the islands. So they came like to the north and repeopled the islands because they pretty much wiped out. The islands were almost desolate, actually.
Santo Domingo.
Yeah. And so this is why when you hear of the Inquisition operations, you'll hear those names. People think it's on that side. It's on this side. And this is why it's important for people to know what they're calling the Spanish Inquisition is the Inquisition against the Moors. And so when you see the brothers and sisters on the different islands, they think that those names apply to them. No, they're just like Negro, Black, and Colored. They're all Moors. But you'll notice that a lot of the brothers and sisters on the island, because of sensitivity, because the Europeans were always killing everybody, they would just say they're of Indian and African descent, which is another way of bouncing around the corner, not openly saying that they're Moors.
Islam.
Islam. All right, good brother. Islam, good brother.
Can anyone hear me?
Get in the mic.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. My question, I have 2 questions real quick. How can I qualify what the sister said about the flags? Just so I can, once I say to anyone else what it really is, how can I qualify, or is there a way to qualify that this is a banner and this is the national
This
flag?
Star-Spangled Banner?
Yes. How do you qualify that?
This has been flying over this land for actually over 70,000 years. It used to be white with the gold star. But as it is, over 10,000 years. All right? These flags, for the operations of this flag operating on this continent, this must be shown with it. They don't tell you that, but I'm telling you this. If you get the whole point.
I understand
they
that.
They hide this, and they're trying to claim your birthright. The white stripes represent the European trading companies that later become the thieves of your estate, take the E off and claim their statehood. Most of them, contrary to what most people know, for instance, most of the books are reconstructed, but most of your states didn't become states actually until about 1810. If you understand, and people will be making statements like they were states earlier than that, and it's not really true. They were just simply trading companies. The 7 red stripes represent the 7 Elam. All right, that's Moorish. And the white stripes represent the European nations. This is basically the agreement. This is amity and commerce, as described when you look in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, before they set up the Ordinance of 1787. The Ordinance of 1787 is where the determination was made how the government was going to be structured. Also with considerations of the operative government concerning the indigenous people. Logically, they hide that. There's another reason why you can never be U.S. citizens. You understand? Because you're the sovereigns of the land. You've just simply been overthrown. And this is also why you see as nations have been over something like 21 or 22 nations protesting before U.S. embassies, etc. Now, that's why you see Hillary Clinton speaking in the Ben Franklin room, who was a deist because he was one of the ministers plenipotentiary on protection of Sidi Muhammad when we set up the treaty and the Constitution. That's why you see the Moorish flag on her left and on her right. Do you understand? That's in the Ben Franklin room. Now, logically, if the situation was not as they are now tentatively around the world politically, you would not have seen her speaking from Ben Franklin room, exposing the true national flag, which is that red flag with the 5-pointed winged star in the center. But things are tentative now, and plus the nations of the earth are cashing in all of their T-bonds. And so she's trying to give the appearance two ways. One, either as a legible or an accepted trustee, if you understand, even though they violated the trust, and or implying that they're not maintaining human trafficking here, both of which they're doing. If you understand, they violated the treaty, they negated their obligation to the Constitution, which you will see in McFadden's speech on the floor of Congress, as well as Woodrow Wilson in 1913 trying to counter Nobel Ali with the founding of the old Canaanite Temple, met with the Jesuits, representatives of the Jesuits of Rome, and the European bankers of Jekyll Island off of Georgia, the so-called selfish government. And then backed up again by Teddy Roosevelt in 1933 with the fake bank holiday, where they were sending our gold, to Europe, etc., which continues now. And of course, this is the foundation of the economic problems that we're faced with today, then both hiding the history and both completing, or what you say, continuing the mission of the Spanish Inquisition, because they're here to steal our gold, and they have been dishonorable. And so, once you understand this, all you got to do is look at that picture with Hillary Clinton speaking. That's why you see this, because that's the American flag. You get the whole point?
I understand, but I'm just, for argument's sake, is there a way, just say I'm arguing with someone else? Just study.
That, in other words, like the brother was saying, once it becomes you, it's natural. In other words, once you know 2 and 2 is 4, it's no big thing. You just do it and be it.
My second question, when you say I'm national, like for instance, a Chinese person says I'm Chinese, I'm from China. Sorry. When you say I'm a national, and it applies to a country.
When you declare your nationality, you're automatically a national.
Correct. But
and keep this in mind, when one implies or speaks of citizenship, you're saying nationality. And one of the things that is recognizable with most of our people, they think that the United States is a nation. The United States is not a nation. The United States is a corporate entity doing business in Morocco. This is why when you're dealing with expatriation or citizenship in the United States, you'll see beneath it will always say Morocco.
So I'm a national of Morocco.
Yeah, because the nation is Maghrib al-Aqsa, Morocco, the most extreme west. You know, so that you're dealing in Societas Republica et al-Moroccanos. That's the government. You understand? And this is also why it's necessary for them to maintain secret societies for those who rule to maintain the truth for themselves but keep it from the masses. This is also why you see all the same Europeans, whether they're Christians or Jews, in secret have a Moorish fetish in all their Masonic societies. You see? Whether they're Skull and Bones, you know, Euro Masons, etc., they all got a Moorish fetish, don't they? And once you kind of understand this, it's no big deal. You know, it's just that our people need to get a little bit more sophisticated and a lot less naive.
Right. Islam.
Islam. there any other questions? Anyone else? Islam.
It's not really a question. It's a reminder. There was something that we were planning to do with us to take us to Alexandria, to George Washington Museum, so we can see the flag, the Moroccan flag, the continental flag, and the banner in George Washington Museum. That never happened.
Yes.
So is there a way that we can plan for that? Because a lot of brothers and sisters, I was talking about it, they were very enthusiastic to go.
Sis will tell you she's been there. You plan on taking them down to to Alexandria, Virginia, to George Washington's Masonic Lodge. You wasn't there? You didn't go? 3 years ago? 2 years ago? You didn't go? I thought you went. I thought you went with everybody else. All right. Anybody wants to go? Who wants to go down to see? Dang, I didn't get to stay. Happy the Clown's house. No, all right. George Washington Masonic Lodge. Yes. So make the plans and we'll go down there and try to get down there before it gets into winter.
Yeah.
So I'll start setting up. Y'all get together, start setting up.
You know what? I actually have pictures from when we went down there. So I'm going to see if maybe Ross can make them available. The last time we went down there, they let us know that they were not going to be allowing people to go into certain rooms any longer, and they were going to be removing some of the artifacts to storage.
They moved a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so I have pictures. So I think really we can.
Yeah, I was scared a minute, sir.
Yeah, I actually have one. I have one flash drive.
Yes.
I mean,
Because as we've taken people there over the years, and the people started getting conscious, they start taking stuff out of the museum.
Yeah.
And so right now, whereas they had fezzes for all the different lodges around the world, they removed them. The president of Mexico, known as 1857, with his fez on with Allah written on it, they took that out. They moved a lot of the regalia, some of the Korans, etc. They moved, they hid some of the older currency with the pyramid on it. They might have one or two pieces now, but they've hidden a lot of that. A lot of the pictures where they had Asiatics on the stage where Europeans were in the audience, with their fezzes on, they hid a lot of that. And then plus people were starting to come from around the world taking pictures. And then as soon as the Asiatics start coming in, then they start shutting stuff down. So I also suspect if we go down there now, you will not be as satisfied. It may be well, but we're just going to have to share a lot of our older pictures with you because most of the stuff they're starting to clean up, meaning that they're cleaning it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right.
Because I was there too. And you came down and went, right?
We went twice.
Yeah, twice.
Twice in the same year.
Yeah, right. And they are cheesy stuff, but many of you have seen it. If you go on the site, you see pictures of the Europeans with fezzes.
Yes.
And the mic isn't working or something. I don't know. It's not working. Where's Dave at? Dave, do you know what's up with this? Oh. Well, that comes from the same thing. I don't think that's working either. It was working when we tested them, but they don't work now. Can you hear me? No, nothing's going on. I got a big mouth anyway. So, what it is? You can hear me, right? Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm going with this mouth. You went on this. Thank you. Does this work too? Can you check that? There's a third one too.
I was, if you go on the site, you see the picture of the European with the fez one. Have you seen it? How many have seen that?
Yes.
All right. That's from the Masonic Sassy from the George.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of people, this is what happens, and I know this is going to bring about some thought and questions for you. People are misinformed about what we all in this room Moors are. They think it's a religious belief, and this is kind of like we discussed on Sunday. And I think that's what was brought an interest, right, sis?
Well, pretty much, I have my own questions that I would like to know about people, like a debate.
Would you like to come up and ask them? See, if I had the cordless, I wouldn't inconvenience you, but unfortunately it's not working. Come on up and ask.
I don't think I need a microphone on.
This will work.
It's distorted.
No, try it now.
Hello.
It's distorted.
Is it good? No, it's good.
Hello? Okay.
It's low.
Yes.
We know it's low. So we
I said greetings. First and foremost, I'm very happy to be amongst my brothers and sisters. That's the first thing. And the second thing is I was very impressed about what was going on Sunday. That's what brought me back here for the second time. Now, for a brand new baby, it's quite confusing when you are on a certain consciousness already. So, like for instance, in my yard, I live in the misnomer, what they call Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
And I fly an Ethiopian flag.
Oh.
That's what I do.
All right.
So I'm a bit confused about how is this information in real time going to help me, you, and the whole of the planet that looks like me and you. I mean, each person is waking up.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
But what is my nationality? I mean, I call myself Ethiopian. I'm an Ethiopian. You understand?
Now, before you answer that,
you know? Or you understand?
I want you to hear something.
Yeah.
I want everybody to hear it.
Okay.
Come on, you Asiatic, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthright. You are not Negro, colored, black, or Ethiopian.
Okay.
And then Todd will explain to you what Ethiopian means and demarcation line and how that came about, and hopefully answer your trust. Well, what's your second question?
Lay your the second question.
Because somebody else has the same.
No, it's okay. I'll listen and then.
Say your second question because someone else. Bring it. Bring it. Come on, sis.
No, and
she's gonna give you both questions.
I just need to know because I'm interested because I never felt I'm not of these labels anyway per se because I know from whence I came. And, I don't think I have to go to court or anything other place to declare my own sovereignty.
No one does.
Oh, they don't?
No. See, this is true.
Okay.
All right. You don't go to
court to declare your sovereignty. You're born sovereign.
Now, listen, sis.
Yes.
Ethiopia is basically the dividing line of the land from the ancient Super De Beers.
Quiet in the back, you can't hear.
And the land or the areas that people today call Ethiopia is really not Ethiopia. That's in reference to the great Super De Beer. The land or the jurisdiction there is Abyssinia.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Now, it's Abyssinia. And whenever in the law, when you declare a nationality, all of your documents should indicate that. Do you have a nationality card? And can you recite the Constitution for what you say Ethiopia?
No.
I know. This is the first indicator in the world that you would be declared a stateless person anyway.
Okay.
And so the deal of this, what must be understood, how this is used in order for you, me. When I say you, we're always talking plurally, meaning that the nation state is what is recognized by the rest of the civilized world relative to your or my claim of right of both self and property. it goes back to what we talked about earlier with status. Now, many of our people will claim a lot of things that, that are attached or reattached to an Afrocentric perspective, if you get the point.
Yes.
With the determination of severing the false claim of jurisdiction made in our lives by these European colonists pretending to be Americans.
Okay.
And so the general efforts that we make in those areas is for issues of jurisdiction. And when that is done, one, you must know what jurisdiction is. And whenever you declare a nation state, your paperwork is supposed to indicate that. And the fundamental constitution principles of that nation state, you're supposed to be totally aware of. If you're not, you will be declared not only a stateless person, but civil liberal offense. And they can also, detain you for misappropriation of that information and call you impersonating a national. Yes. And this is why we take the time to really teach our people national and international law. Because people make claims, and we know why they're making the claims. It's not rejected on that. But it's with the intent of getting away from the Europeans' false claim of jurisdiction. But when you do it, you better know what you're talking about.
So
now, where it's accepted.
How do you detach? I mean, what are the steps of detaching?
You must declare just what you were doing. You must declare your nationality.
Okay.
But if you declare to be Ethiopian, then your documents are supposed to indicate that, and you're supposed to have the Constitution, and then you've got to show the treaty that has connection with this U.S. in order for those rights to be recognized. Now, so anyone that would teach you that, and if they didn't tell you that part, then they themselves have defrauded you.
Okay.
Now, and this is why it's important for our people to know international law, because we often make claims and not knowing that those claims have legal implications. If you understand. Now, all the Asiatics in North America who were branded Negro, Black, and Colored and Ethiopian are of Moorish descent by blood, not by opinion or not by just wanting to attach or be Afrocentric. This is what the world recognizes.
Okay.
Because in other words, you can't just attach yourself. It has to have a history background, and it must be provable. So the Asiatics that are in North America that are branded Negro, Black, and Colored, the West Indians, Latinos are all of Moorish descent. That's known around the world. And when you step outside of that venue, you have no legal protection. Do you understand? This is why we also give people world history, so they can make the reconnection and not approach this thing from an emotional position of just trying to get away from the European and thinking that they can claim nations' names without a background. Because you can't back it up. As a matter of fact, it's safer to keep on claiming you're black. You claim a nation state, you can't back it up. They can detain you.
Okay.
Islam.
Islam.
Follow up on that. We all need to comprehend that nationality, it's not in a paper, it's not in an ID. These things that we have in terms of a calling card, introduction. That's not, they do not express who you are. Only you can. So nationality is about consciousness, and it begins and ends right here. All right? When your nationality is in any way, shape, or form challenged, you ought not to be looking at a card or a piece of paper to express who you are.
Yes.
You are supposed to know that within yourself.
And that's
This is why if you get harassed by Europeans and you flash your card or you send in your paper, because many of us have been going within their venue and we've been demonstrating that we don't know what's on those papers and we don't know really what that card means, they've been taking them away and ripping them up. Basically to say, okay, see, I ripped up your paperwork and I took away your little card, now what? We ought not to be getting angry with them, because that card and that paper is not who you are. It's what comes out of your mouth that makes you who you are. So if you are challenged and somebody takes your paperwork away, you should be able to look them squarely in the face and break down exactly who you are from a national perspective as well as an international perspective. Islam.
Now, are there any other questions? Yes, Dee, would you come up?
How are you? It's good to see you.
I don't know if you heard what's going on in the news. I don't know if you know or you heard what's going on in the news about zombie attacks. It's something with the military where people are, some people are turning into zombies.
Quiet in the center of the room.
I mean, it's been all over the news where people have been attacked by zombies, and it's supposed to be something. Dr. Blair mentioned it on YouTube. It's supposed to be something that's going on where people are getting attacked by zombies or people are turning into zombies. So I don't know if you heard about it, but if you did, I was just wondering what your take on it is.
Zombies.
Like Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, that type of thing.
Well, you know what? That shouldn't be a surprise because we got a lot of zombies walking around right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Manchurian candidates. They are already wired and they're already programmed to do certain things with chips.
Yeah, the Manchurian candidates.
How many people have really and truly studied the movie The Matrix? Have you really? There's a part in that movie where they call it the red dress training program. It's designed to teach you what? One thing. And what is the one thing?
You're either one of us or you're one of them.
Exactly. If you're not one of us, you're one of them. Now, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to go out there and just, injure anyone who's not one of us. It does mean you ought to be aware of who is you, who is a part of you, and who is not. So, when you are going about your day-to-day travels, we all need to be very clear about who everyone is, because just the prophet said, be careful because some of your own will put you back into slavery. All right? So we all need to be studying, and because with that studying, it's going to help you to discern information, and not just information, but people who come into your space. More science is an absolute science, and it's not just about paperwork. It's not just about writing writs. It's not just about articulating your words. It's about studying the energy and interacting with it and knowing exactly who you are dealing with at any given time.
Anyone else have any? Yes, come on. This is a young brother named Elder. I think this is the second or third time he's been here. Is that correct? All right.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and making a special appearance. And I would like to ask about the symbolism of red signatures.
The what?
The symbolism of red signatures.
Oh, we just talked about this.
Why are you signing red?
Red signature.
Red versus black and blue.
Because you're a noble, and you're the only one who can get away with it. In other words, you're descendants of the nobles of the planet, not just of North America. And it's also our flag and our blood. That's the sign of the noble. No one else can sign like that, but a noble won't be accepted from anyone else.
Is that when you're writing red?
Yes.
I don't mean to interject, but when I was going to I do mean to interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was traveling through customs, I filled out my custom form in red.
Yes.
And what the custom problem. But they didn't stop me. They just let me know that you're not supposed to fill out any government
Yes,
documents.
you are. All you need to do is look at your face.
Yeah, well, they did, but they didn't say they stamped it, did what they had to do. But whenever I'm traveling with their document, the passport, I always fill out my information in red all the time.
Because you're a noble and they know it.
Oh, okay. I wanted to interject.
You know, you might have done it naturally because it's already in your blood. But they know, all they need to do is see you coming. They already know who you are. Whether you said it or not, they know who you are.
Thank you.
Right on.
Anyone else have any questions? Could you come up? Just come up. You can come over here and line up if you want.
You can line up right here if you like. Anyone who has questions.
I do.
Islam. I had a question, Taj. I go on the website and I look at the writs of freedom, and I was studying how to build a suit. But I'm wondering, because you have a lot of de facto courts, like the municipal court and the state court. Where do you go to apply these writs, and how would you administer them?
Basically, you have to already understand that the writs are in affidavit nature. They're not really in emotion nature because all of those courts are actually frauds. It has to do with more a position that they're claiming to be FOFR or trustee of the seats of government, and so you're holding them to the constitutional principles, which they are bound. However, knowing that they are colorable, you don't give them motions, you give them affidavits. They have a responsibility to rebut them. However, on another point, if there is any filing, even though it still would not be legitimate on their side, it would be from district court up to the Supreme.
So you're saying,
even though they're still colored.
If you're saying file a suit in
because your municipal
court.
courts and your state courts are all incompetent.
Does anyone have the Constitution? Can read Amendment 6?
Say that again.
Amendment 6, which states that all criminal acts of business must be handled with the district court.
That's it.
Anyone have the Constitution? Could you come up here and read it?
There you go. All right.
Oh, you got it? Yeah.
Have a brother come on up.
Amendment 6. Oh, he already got it.
It's right behind me.
You gotta move fast, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and the cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense.
That's Amendment 6. Now read Article 6.
Article 6. There you go.
Well, the reason I wanted to do Amendment 6
Yes, I understood.
was about the district court
Because it's still jurisdiction.
and
You're still talking
jurisdiction.
jurisdiction.
So in other words, when they tell you that they're trying to get you for some quote unquote crime in a municipal court, and then they're saying it's a crime. Municipal courts can't handle crimes. They don't have the jurisdiction for that, and it
They
says
can't
so
even
right.
handle civil matters.
They
because
can't
they're
even
not
really
courts.
handle civil matters because municipal courts are really not courts.
Which is also why most of them don't have records, because actually they're auction blocks.
Now, Article 6 is also where the treaty comes in. Really explain that.
All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned and the members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath and affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States.
All right. There's things that ought to be noted in Article 6. Number one, don't come up with your religious beliefs because they have nothing to do with anything. Stick them in your back pocket. That's number one. Number two, all debts and agreements, that means the treaties, etc., ordinances, etc., set ordinance of 1787, set up before the adoption of that Constitution, is the supreme law of the land. And the judges of every state are bound thereby. That includes the legislative branch, executive branch, judicial branch, etc. Are we clear? This is another reason why it's important for you to know, understand when you're talking the treaty, you're talking the Constitution. And one of the demonstrations with anyone who understands nationality, if you don't recognize that connection, that means you would be incompetent. This is another reason why we emphasize these things amongst Moorish Americans, because there's sometimes you recognize they don't recognize that those documents are one. You hold them together. This is another reason why we put the Constitution and the treaty book together, because we've been telling people that for years, but they seem to not quite get it. So when you're speaking of the treaty and the Constitution, you're speaking of one document. You understand? And the treaty was in place before that Constitution. That's the supreme law of the land. You see why it's important to claim your nationality? So even when these Europeans talk about emergency powers and War Powers Act and they suspended the Constitution and all this other stuff, well, they can step off all they want to. That treaty is in place. You see the whole point? Therefore, they're bound, aren't they? Now you understand why Hillary made that speech with that Moorish flag on the right and on the left? Okay.
Because the rest of the world knows that this is a Moroccan empire.
The deal with this is for the heirs to start acting like they know and stop looking at it like a glove.
Can I emphasize that enough? We here on this particular part of the land absolutely must know. We must wake up and know that we are Moors and we have a nationality. Everyone knows this except us. And just to, piggyback off of what Taj just said, when we look at the Constitution and it talks about, government, what is it that you think the government, you all think that the government is? Just as a question.
Take the right to violate our rights.
All right.
Guarantee the right city to get the Constitution.
All right.
And to protect and help, just to administrative.
All right. So who would be administrating? President?
Us, the people.
We the people.
Who are the people?
Corporation.
We're talking the de jure government here.
Yeah. Oh,
de jure government. But remember now, government is a fictitious entity. So who actually runs the government?
The people.
Yes, and so, but I don't want to give it away with my question. The ones that are in those seats, what are they?
Agents.
Somebody said half of it already. What did you say?
Public servants.
Public servants. Public servants. What do public servants do? Exactly. So what is it that the Sixth Amendment is saying then? Really? Article 6 of the Constitution, what is it saying? It means that if the public servant who takes an oath to protect and secure your birthright does not do that, Exactly.
Say it again, they didn't hear it.
They said it.
No, they didn't hear over here.
Say it again.
Committed treason.
And what is the punishment for treason?
Yes.
Well, y'all said that loud enough. Exactly. So now, when we start writing writs, and we're telling them on these public servants, why do you think they don't like when you send your writ to the international family? Because the punishment for treason is about to go down. And this is why everyone in this room must be absolutely competent to write writs. Everyone. And you must teach each other. If there's somebody that's not in this room and you know how to write a writ, you don't do it for them. You teach them. Then they can teach someone else.
Break it down!
Islam.
Talking to the mic because you'll have to. Yeah.
I've been doing some studying at home.
Get in the mic.
You gotta stay in the mic. You wanna raise it up a little bit, maybe, because you kind of got to go talk.
I've been doing some study at home. One of the questions,
Get in the mic.
one of the questions that I came, of course, was I had to write it down. I'm still not sure if I did it correctly. It has to do with says if the Moors spoke Latin, is that right? You spoke Latin?
Yeah.
Also, yeah, it's usually spoke multiple languages.
Because and it says the Moors spoke Latin, and Europeans renamed it Spanish.
They renamed it Spanish, but it's not.
Because my confusion was if the Latin and the Spanish is different. They're different
Dialect.
dialects.
Yeah.
Dialects.
So how did the Spanish come about?
No, the Europeans start calling Moorish Latin Spanish. So Spanish is really a misnomer.
Right.
It's Latin.
So the
You have
Spanish that
different
people,
dialects of Latin.
the Spanish that people are speaking right now is Latin.
Yes.
No, yes,
Well, it's a dialect.
it's a dialect of Latin.
Someone had asked me about that question. I couldn't answer it.
Yeah.
Well, see, out of Latin comes a dialect that is today known as Spanish, as well as French.
Yeah, French is Latin
as
also.
well as Italian.
And
These are-
Portuguese.
And Portuguese.
It's all-
all of these are
Yeah.
dialects that come out of the Moorish Latin language.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I got one more question. This is the easy one. James Brown made the song Black and Proud. Was that intentional or was it innocent on his part?
Well, because of the riots that were going on, they paid him to do that. Because it was popular, they paid him to do that. Also, later on, he apologized when he recognized the compromise, too.
Okay, because I was wondering.
Yeah, for those who
sort of
know.
struck me that
Yeah.
he deliberately did that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's it.
Because it's too many people talking in the room.
All right, good brother.
Yeah, and listen, everybody has to be quiet in the back, or you can go out to the outer hall or downstairs if you want to have a conversation while we're doing this demonstration here, because it is absolutely affecting the ability for the people, especially back there, to hear, because
You gotta get the mic.
you, because they're listening
To you talk in the back, and it's affecting them. All right? So if you don't want to be a part of this conversation, then go out there and have a conversation. Respectfully and with love. Oh, here she is.
Hello, I have a question. Okay, what do you do?
What do you do? You gotta talk directly into the mic.
What do you do with that? when you don't want to make a complaint against the police because they're cops, should you write like an affidavit to secure like what happened at certain times for your record instead of having, you know, reported to 311 or the police station, something like that. You understand what I'm trying to say?
How do you make it? What do you mean?
Did you say how do you make a record of what happened?
Yeah, you want to make a record something without the police because you know the police are doing something bad. And you fear the police.
All right, let's make a qualification. This is something specific that happens here in New York. Linda, can you explain that? Because they don't have understanding of what happens here in New York that's different from anywhere else. Yeah, that can explain the position you're talking about.
What she's asking
When you
is,
need that mic, I was doing your
Yeah, like James Brown.
in this territory, they have a 311 number that they can call for different complaints against different agencies.
Wow.
She's asking if she can put an affidavit together and serve the agency that she wants
So
to
like
complain
an IA,
against.
so like an IA internal affairs type thing?
No, but she doesn't want to go through their normal procedure. She wants to know if she can lawfully put an affidavit in and serve it versus going through 311.
Yes, you'd always do that.
But what exactly are you trying to accomplish though? Did you just want
And I'm like,
To have a record of it?
Yeah.
To have a record because see, if you record it and then the police have the information and then everybody gonna do bad stuff at the police department because the police are doing wrong anyway.
All right. Well, really, the police and that system, they are not our system.
yes, they're really gang members. They're private gang members.
Right. So, and also, it actually ties into the fact that, for example, we are not in New York State right now. New York, the state of New York is a corporation.
In a foreign jurisdiction.
And it's a foreign corporation. Where is the capital of New York? Albany? That's where New York is. That's it, that building. Remember when Europeans first came here, they built a fort? That fort, that's the state of New York, as well as the state of what? Connecticut?
Whatever else.
Wherever the state capital, that's that state. That's it. The rest of the land is northwest of Mexico. All right? Now, we are not currently in any state of New York. State of New York is, first of all, it's a corporate entity. So the only way you could be in the state of New York is if you was a page in a book.
Page in a book. All right.
To answer the sister's question, what you can do is document whatever it is you witnessed or experience, send it to the United Nations, World Court, International Criminal Court.
And names, make sure you get names whenever you're interfacing with them. Complete names.
Because it has really been that much of a duping that they've done with us that they really, really, really are a private, like the police, they are not peace officers who uphold that oath to protect the peace, to protect the public.
Agents for the insurance companies.
They are private insurance companies carrying the gun, of which you have a right to do the same. Really, you have a right to bear arms just as much as they do. But they really fool the people so much that we think that they're the law. You find out they're not, that you are. That's not funny, but it's the truth. Because you're the law, they're not the law. They are to protect their public service. Those guys are not that. Those guys are private gangs, and now what's happening is they're finding out
that you're finding out, and you're taking food off their plate. And so they're doing tricky things, and I think I told you this, or maybe I didn't.
Like someone got a ticket. Listen, people. This is very important. You really got to wake up and stop thinking that you're going to have a picnic, as Todd would say, in this store, because you're not. Because Because what's really happening is, and it's always been. For instance, they'll give you a ticket now, and since they knew that we've been talking about constitutionally secured rights, they'll put on the ticket to fool the dummies. That's what they're thinking, and to appease you, they'll say if you want to contact a lawyer for your to make sure your constitutional rights are not violated. Now, because you don't want to believe your brothers and sisters up here have been here for I don't know how long telling you who you are, and you'd rather be more comfortable thinking that these other people really give a damn when you should recognize that they don't. All right, and that they stole in your state, your birthright. Then some people will believe that. And it's a trap, it's a snare. So they're going to do what they see us come up with, just like the prophet of Julie, every time he does something, they counted it. You have a comment?
Depending on how much trouble you want to create, because you could say, they used to have a auto pound place on the Whitestone Highway as you came in years ago. Years ago. It's closed now. Because my brother being a lot smarter than me, they started messing around with stolen parts. I was the letter writer, but he was the brains. So after a few months, with investigation, they closed it up. We took over 10 acres years ago before I ever heard about the Morris Science. Years ago, up in Co-op City. I was the letter writer, but my brother was the brains.
You would have done you were the brains.
Now here's what I'm trying to say. Depending on how much trouble you're going to start in this system, you CC everybody.
That's right.
You CC everybody and try to get a name for somebody that sent you that letter that you might have so you can send it back. Certified. In fact, I heard one audio said, don't certify, send it registered. Damn, a little bit more money, but you get results. Depending on how much. But you see, a lot of us are scared. A lot of us are scared. We forget who we are. And you got to be a lover of your people and to lead us, because you help them out, guess what? They're kicking you in the ass too. It's sad, but this is where we at. But with these classes, a mother said, brother, I don't use no lawyer with nothing. I kick ass. And she hit a neck. So, depending on how much trouble you want to start, sit down, be a little prayerful, make up that letter, put your spirit on it, and ship it out here. This is how me and my wife live now. Because you come knocking to my door when you got a problem. Thank you. All right.
It's interesting because it is about the spirit, and that's kind of like what we were talking about on Sunday.
Oh, is this on?
Stand the mic.
Oh, I did not see you. I thought that was... You have a question?
Yeah, two. All right. Is it need to be
Islam?
taken out?
I'm one of the brothers that want to start trouble. Yeah. Sister Anita, read your book, Personal Property. Been in it. Basically, you said you got the right to do anything you want to do, just as long as another person, you give the right to the other person. Can you explain it to me?
You don't injure. You don't violate anyone else's right to do the same.
To do the same, correct. Another thing also, dealing with taxes. I know a lot of people say the Moors don't pay taxes, right?
Get in the mic. Pull the mic up.
Let me hold it. We don't pay taxes, correct?
You better, clarify that.
Okay. With our status.
All right. Now, have you paid your Russian rice tax lately?
No.
Why?
Yeah, not Russian.
How about have you paid your Zimbabwean tire tax?
No. I haven't paid.
How about your Brazilian grape tax?
No.
Well, then that means you haven't paid your Australian shirt tax, have you?
Exactly.
Why?
Because I'm not neither one of them.
All right. Now, are you European?
Not at all.
Are you a member of the U.S. Society, Social Society?
Not at all.
United States? Then why you be paying them taxes on your own land?
Exactly.
For your own stuff.
Exactly.
For your own estate
right.
that they're occupying.
And that's
how do you owe them? They owe you.
Thank you. And that's what I wanted, and that's what I wanted to be explained in the way that I was reading it and taking it in your book.
It's jurisdictionism. What happens is those statements are made loosely with an assumption that these people are Americans. They're not Americans. They're foreign Europeans posing as Americans who are in violation of the Constitution and treaties and have been taxing the indigenous and aboriginal people on the land on their own land when they're colonists. On top of it, their corporate entity that was established for them to do business here has been dissolved, which makes them triple frauds.
Exactly. Now,
so why would you or anybody else pay taxes to them?
I'm actually asking this question for other people.
The statement saying that Moors don't pay taxes is a wrong statement.
Okay.
Any nation, any national pays taxes to his nation or her nation. Does Russians pay taxes in China?
Yeah.
Do they?
Russians pay taxes in China. Do Russians pay taxes in China?
Do Russians pay their taxes in China?
Oh, no.
Right.
All right. Does Chinese pay their taxes in Russia?
No.
Then why are Moorish Americans on their own land paying taxes to foreign European colonists?
And that would go for food.
That goes for anything. This is our stuff. This is not their stuff.
I know. And I hear people saying
once you understand
that
concept, you understand that they've been robbing you. That's what you should be recognizing.
Right. So if I go into the store and just want to walk out with groceries,
you wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that.
Although it's still your stuff.
Then how would I go about getting my groceries?
With fiat, even though it's fraud. But you wouldn't necessarily pay taxes with it.
Well, if I pay for the food, that's a tax.
Of course it is. It's 100% tax. So it's 100% tax on your own stuff.
So then how would I go about getting...
All right, this is how we go about it. Just as you're getting conscious, make the people on your left and on your right conscious. And when these people get conscious and get in their right mind, you'll do just what Hugo Chavez did, what the brothers in Bolivia did, what Fidel Castro did, and what Hitler did with Germany. You nationalize your stuff and get the frauds off your land.
Islam, in addition, that's also happening currently in South Africa, as well as Libya, I believe. Libya, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they gave all Europeans a directive to get off the land or they're not going to be responsible for their safety.
What people need to know too is that the IRS is not a part of the government. You never even check to see that if you were to write to the governor, he would tell you that, or she would tell you that. I'm sorry, but that's not part of the government.
The IRS belongs to the Jesuits of Rome. What does that have to do with you?
The IRS is not a part of the government.
It's not only not a part of the United States government, it belongs to the Jesuits of Rome. It belongs to the Pope.
Part two of the question. A lot of people have something to do with, they're scared of actually becoming Moors because they have
you can't become, it's like saying,
I know.
a light-skinned yellow guy is scared of being Chinese. Listen to yourself, and this is with respect. We have to correct our language because you can't become what you are by blood.
Right.
One of the problems of even when we're arguing taxes or anything, you're talking status, which we brought up to you earlier. And as long as Moors keep looking at their birthright as something to become, then at that stage they're incompetent. In other words, if a brother comes in here from China or Korea and they're calling themselves light-skinned yellow guys and his brother's calling himself a dark-skinned yellow guy, you're telling them that they're Chinese and they're saying, well, how do I become Chinese? Or how do I become... The concept is wrong. In world government, you would be considered incompetent.
Right. I know that.
What we have to do with us.
Right. Oh, I got that
is
exactly.
Clean that up. Clean that up.
Right.
Because before you can take a stand on what you call status, you cannot be confused in those matters. Because it would be no different than, you know, like, say, you're an heir to a great estate, right? And you come bouncing through the door doing push carts and cartwheels and everything, and everybody's, you know, start looking, you're a gymnast or something, you know, and then you say, no, this is what I do, man. And then you start doing push carts all over people's heads there. Basically, they'll probably assign someone to take over your estate and give you some kind of stipend. Right. Because you would be considered incompetent. You know, and this is pretty much how the world deals with people who keep on calling themselves Negro, Black, and Colored and think more is a belief system.
Right, and that's what I was saying. That
we have to clean that mess up with ourselves so that we will be in full life to the rest of the civilized world. This is why the international community has declared over and over again for these people to declare their nationality. But they got to understand what it means. It's not just say, well, you're Moorish American, you're Moorish descent. Well, that's the fact. But your language must reflect it. Right. Your common sense must reflect it. You know, when these people no longer saying, well, you know, I'm a light-skinned, orange-skinned, colored guy. Oh, no, but I'm yeah, you know what I mean? I'm really more. As soon as you go like that, you're still incompetent. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Oh, yes, I have.
And so we're purging. We're purging.
Now, for the people who consider themselves under the union societies and have their social security.
See, they can consider anything they want to consider. They can consider you can consider an elephant a pit bull. I suggest you don't take them to an auction and try to sell them. You know, and this is back to even with the Dred Scott case. You can consider yourself whatever you want to be. You can consider yourself happy to clown. Doesn't mean everybody's going to smile at you.
Right.
And this is what it's hard to get through our people's head because we've been trained for so many generations that think we can call it ourselves anything we want to, you know, what terms we want to. That stuff works in the hood. In the real world, you're considered non-descendable. And this is what's happening with our people. This is why the state keeps claiming all of our estates, because we are incompetent people. You know, but we don't see ourselves that way. We hide behind our religious beliefs and everything. In the real world, that stuff don't count. It really doesn't count in the real world. And they're not going to sit around and argue with us.
Well, he just read that in Article 6.
Because they treat us just like we act, like colored people, which means artificial persons, until we start acting like human beings. Honor our mothers and our fathers.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, and that's important because we have to do that. And we'll be called minorities because we have minor minds.
Islam. I wanted to ask about titles as far as cars go because I know that the licenses. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that you could get a salvage title for a car. Is that how does that operate?
They say that, but they don't give you. They give you certificates of title. You don't get titles under the feudal system. The U.S. corporation is a foreign feudal system, which is exactly opposite of the loyal systems which are founded in constitutional law. Which means no matter how you move those things under the registration of the states, they remain with the popes of Rome. All of them have been hypothecated and delivered to the popes of Rome under the secretary of Rome. You don't own crap. Whether you're talking about salvage titles, you know, trying to say wreck car or something like that, what you want to do is that you want to transfer of inheritance and claim it and put it into your trust. In other words, that's the only way. And then even to do that, you better be in propria persona. And sue juris and sue heritors, capable of receiving an inheritance. And these things, we have to really get it clear to our people because they think that they can just do stuff. Well, guess what? Negro, blacks, and colored are already Christian property. So whenever you do something under those titles, you're charged with insurrection. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because a slave can't own property. This is why it said in the Bible, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. This is why Noble Raleigh said, what? We're giving Christianity and the church back to the Europeans. And going back to the principles of our ancient forefathers. The principle is the same. Which means long as we're buying and selling with the mark of the number of their name, we can't even make an argument on the truth of the allodial title. We can say it, but it doesn't count. In your proper person, you go and make it claim your stock, claiming your stock, document it and publish it. Transfer your stuff out of theirs. Because as long as it's in their registration, it's in their trust. Because that's what the registration is. And on the registration, they will have assignment, which means there's a trust.
Also,
Go ahead.
you're going to run into people who try to give you information basically that says you need to rescind those contracts associated with driving instruments, registration, and so forth. If a contract is initiated unlawfully, it's void ab initio.
Already did.
All right?
Thank you.
That doesn't mean you need to run from that fraudulent instrument. What it does mean is what you can do. Make copies of it because it is evidence of treason.
And fraud.
As well as fraud. But I like to stick with the treason. I mean, you can throw fraud in there, but I'm going for treason.
Yes.
Because who is it that told you you had to apply for a registration? What was it?
Public servant.
What? Public servant. And what is the job of the public servant? To serve the people, to ensure that their birthrights are protected and secure. So the minute that they turn around and say, you have to pay me for your stuff, that's mine. That's treason. Make copies of it. And I'm going to tell you, I was at the post office. Yesterday, and we need to really be happy and ask questions, and just keep your eyes and your ears open. Because I was talking with the postal worker, and she was telling me some interesting stuff about sending mail. And while she was talking, there was an Asiatic sister standing next to me talking with the other postal worker about a passport. And I know I've been to the post office as well as I'm sure you have, and you can get application for a passport at the post office.
Mm-hmm. And take a picture too.
Right, take a picture, get the passport, everything. How many people have picked up the application for passport? How many have drafted up a writ to the United Nations and sent the passport application as evidence of treason?
That's what you need to do.
Why is my hand the only hand that's How many of you have gotten the application for registration? The application for license?
Yeah.
How about non-driver's application?
For ID.
How many have ever been to a pawn shop? I just went to a pawn shop last week. Never been there, ever. In the pawn shop, it says, there's a notice, and it says, basically, per the police, we cannot do business with you unless you have one of the following forms of identification. I took a picture of it. That, along with the application for registration and the driver's license and the non-driver's license, is all going to the United Nations charges of treason and How many of you are doing this? How many will start doing it? There is evidence of treason all around you. It's even in your back pocket and your purses. Don't run from them. Use them. They are giving you keys to put them out of business and off of
All right, we have another question. That's beautiful.
Get in the mic.
To the mic. You gotta tuck that back. You can pick it up.
It goes back to the claiming like a vehicle. How do you do a loading title for a vehicle?
The loading title for a vehicle.
How do you claim a vehicle?
You take care of that. She wants to know how to claim a vehicle. We just told her that when you
Like everything
register
is a state.
it goes into their trust.
Keep this in mind. Everything that goes through the U.S. democracy system is feudal law. In feudal systems, no one owns anything. Only the lords of London do. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Now, your protection is constitution, which is allodial, your nationality and your birthright. Every instrument that they transfer through that U.S. democracy is designed to steal. There is nothing that's constructed in the U.S. democracy system that has legitimacy in it. All right? It was formulated for the specific purpose to steal from people. The birth certificate is designed to steal present bodies. That means bodies in their present form. The marriage certificate is designed to steal all issues from the womb, even before they're born.
That's right.
Are we clear? And the driver's license is designed to steal all rights and liberties of movement. And all of those are hypothecation instruments under bottomry. Understanding that, it is also important to understand that when Noble Drew Ali set up the old Canaanite temple and the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, he told the Moors to put all their property under the nation. And the reason why is because everything that they're claiming is under trust. Two things. If you don't make a public claim to remove it from their trust, your inheritance, it's assumed that you're acquiescing or abandoning, even though you're not, if you get the point. Number two is that if you're not in your proper person, you can't make the argument anyway.
That's right.
But with your nationality, you can make the argument. Therefore, study, set up your own trust, or either under Moorish nation, make documents, transfer your stuff, mail to the government. What corporate state is operating on your trust? What corporate state got your stuff?
Florida.
I can't hear you.
Florida.
Florida? Mm-hmm. So you write to the governor, who's the CEO of Florida's, the state of Florida Foreign Corporation, which is what it is, demand that he send you the allodial title to your dwelling place, whatever the house is that you're at in the land area. Also for your bicycle, for the truck, car, past, present, and future. And call them, for malfeasance, purposes of malfeasance, misrepresentation, treason, etc. That's aside from incompetence. And for general theft and perfidy in general, send you the allodial titles to your car, truck, motorcycle, bicycle, the tire, and the patches that go on the tire.
I mean, I can do that, but I don't know if I want to remember all that, but I guess I have to study.
No, it's the concept that you're calling them and telling them to give you your title to your stuff. Because they haven't given you a title, they give you a certificate.
Right. Okay.
They'll give you the title. Islam.
Islam, good brother.
Islam, good brother.
I just recently made my declaration as a Moorish American.
Being who you are. You decided to be who yourself.
Yes.
You decide to be yourself and make it public. That's what it
That's
means.
right.
So when anybody makes their declaration, all you're doing is deciding to be publicly acknowledging yourself. And keep this in mind. The world don't acknowledge you if you don't acknowledge you.
That's right.
All right? Keep it fed.
So with that being said, my question is, what do I do with, well, I have two questions. First question is, what do I do with my old name?
That ain't your name. As soon as you say mine, that's possessive. Then you give them jurisdiction. This is why we have to clean up language. In other words, when our people claim to be those names or claim to be Christian, you automatically their property on the 14th Amendment, no matter what else you say. Because then you're giving authority. That's called acquiescence and it's called abandonment. Now, is the Chinese brother sitting in the back, is he Joe Belinsky?
No.
How about Fred Zigatini?
No.
Oh.
He's Joe
Why?
Chow.
Oh, they're Italian names, aren't they?
Right.
Oh, what do you think happens when you claim to be Joe Smith?
He ain't gonna pay you no attention.
Is that your name?
No, it's not.
Now you understand why Dred Scott's plaintiff in error?
Yes.
If you understand that principle, you understand the answer to your question. This is, again, why it's important for our people to nationalize and be absolutely conscious of what it really impairs. And what you recognize is that the people approach it as if it's an interesting thing to do, as opposed to a restoration of birthright. And you're held to it by the world. And you better be very clear on it. And until you're clear, you know, they'll classify you as having the mentality of a minor. Such persons are classified as minorities, which means also they're incapable of receiving an inheritance. And so therefore it's important for our people to know what these words mean. Because as long as they're in those statuses, they're incompetent to receive an inheritance. So you need not talk about property until we clean that mess up. If you understand the principle. That's why so many of these things, while there's plenty of information, different parts of this information, you'll see that we're redundant on it. Because as soon as you ask the people to raise their hands, and you see 3 people in an audience of 100, you know we're in trouble. Because that means when they get out in the world, they can't defend. So when we ask the audience questions, what we need to do is see mostly hands and then have to look hard to see the hands that aren't risen. And until we see that, that means we got work to do. Because in here, we forgive each other. In the real world, they take your head. And I think a lot of times the people have a tendency, because this information is given casually, to underestimate its importance.
Yes, that's
because
true.
in the real world, we're not forgiving. You know, it's sort of like you said, you know, how do our people learn how to box? You know, because I used to move like this, you know, but if I can move like this and box a little bit, and so you jump in the ring with a professional, then he hit you twice, and your head's twisted, leaning to the side, and you come back and, you know, he really hit me. Well, when you got in the ring, that's what's going to happen. And it's sort of like in the real world, because we're under colonial powers, people keep forgetting these people are colonists. Their whole nature is exploitation. It ain't racism, it's thorough exploitation and genocide. So when you go out with them, they smile on your face and kill your baby. You know, they're racist. No, they're murderers and genocides and colonists and exploiters. That's what they are. You know, and we really need to get it clear. So when we step into the ring, that's why, like Anna, you say, we always tell people, study, study, study. So while we're patient with each other and forgiving, we should take this serious, because when you step out into the real world, you know, you come in there, you know, like, I'm Worst American now, and they go, poof, 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 poof. Dang, man. And that's what happens. And we really need to understand that. Because when you become conscious, it's over for them.
Yes.
When you really get this down,
they're done.
Even as these things are moving right now, the world turns in all those bonds that they got against that name that you said is your name. What I do with my other name, ain't your daggone name. That's called a wardship. Business name. And when you transact business in it, you're acting as an agent for European slaveholders. It ain't your stuff. This is another way they're claiming your stuff. And so they're taxing you for using their name. Why do you think they don't let these people called Negro, Black, and Colored vote unless the CEO of the corporation every couple of presidents sign? That ain't their stuff. Because they're fraud. That's why they're called people of color, which means artificial people, faking being somebody that they're not. They think it means Afrocentricity. This is why it's important for us to understand language. So don't never say my name, my address, because you just created false jurisdiction, and then it gives them jurisdiction.
So you say that name.
That wardship name, because it's a wardship name, it actually is. It's because all things under it is held in wardship. Even though it's your stuff, they're claiming or they're hypothecating everything that is technically yours that's done in that name. Whether it's your children, marriage certificates, birth certificates, license, registration, they're all hypothecation instruments.
Now that goes to the next question under the same question.
So that's, again, understand claiming your nationality. You know, like, that's why you buy and sell in your own names, in propria persona. Why, you know, you always said, how did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans? By teaching them to be themselves.
Right.
Continue with the
So
next
by
question.
correcting my name,
Corrected, in other words, you
I corrected my
your
name, El Baki Ashik Bey. Business that was conducted and licenses that I had in that wardship name, should I correct it?
What you're going to know, what you're going to do, you're going to study and chill out. Leave it as it is and study and chill out. Because when you have to ask, and there's nothing wrong with asking, but when you have to ask, you're not ready to move.
Right.
That's like saying, you know, now we're on this cruise ship, and I notice there's an island over there. Now, how do I die? Do I die from the bow of the ship or from the stern of the ship? I don't think it's too wise for you to dive on either one, because the sharks will probably get you before you get to the island. It's sort of like that. You know, certain things, if you just kind of comprehend that when you're, keep this in mind, everybody, as you're nationalizing, you have to understand governments are changing on this planet. Things take place that you don't see. You're pretty much shielded from real world politics. When we speak, the world shakes. Just because they, may treat us with disdain, don't you think that they're not nervous while they're doing it? Because the rest of the world starts cashing in stuff as fast as they can, while their citizens don't physically come and choke them, because this stuff is over. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Say it again.
Because what's happening when you declare your nationality, you're rendering under Caesar what is Caesar's, because you're taking on your own self. So that means even though they may still control your estate, the rest of the world are telling them.
Yes.
So even when it comes to divorce, under that wardship name, if I want to get rid of that.
The marriage certificate is an instrument, whereas the popes of Rome, through the Congress, the Klan members in Congress, sold the wombs of women.
Yes.
Hiding behind fake religion. They hypothecated all wombs through the marriage certificate, which is a misrepresented bottomry instrument. In the law of contracts, if the substance or the nature of a contract is not revealed, it's dead. Are we clear? It's called non-disclosure. Now, when people so-called get married and they go get so-called marriage certificates from the state, and the preacher, who they think loved Jesus, etc., then somebody throws rice in their face, all in their eyes, and they're crying because it's marriage and everything. After they get the rice out of their eye, they think, oh, the Lord of Jesus, this, God, this, and all this stuff. And it's a bottomry instrument. Did somebody tell them that?
No.
Did the preacher tell them that?
No.
Did the preacher tell them that they get kickbacks from the state for delivering that certificate to the Department of Commerce, and then they file it in the Department of Orphans?
No.
And that the corporate state owns the womb and can come in the middle of the night and take them babies out of the house without a court order because they already own it through that marriage certificate? Did anybody tell them all that kind of stuff?
No.
They told them that was Lordy, 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 Miss Lordy, didn't they?
Right.
And is it Jesus this of the Lord of the Holy? Yeah, right.
Wow.
That contract is dead. Divorce what?
Steve.
You wasn't even married in the first place.
Exactly, because you can't buy, that's divine.
So could I
The union of man and woman is divine. It cannot be bought and sold by some turkey with a reverse collar. They're slave traders, including your nigger preachers.
So I could take that so-called document and send that into the UN, like you were saying, as under treason.
Exactly. And you would
that's not just treason. That's all of these instruments
and human
are
trafficking.
evidence of human trafficking.
They're bodily instruments.
Anytime they ask you for any type of finance,
fees come under feudal law.
Fees. And when you hear the word fee, that denotes a feudal system. If you look on all applications, they all say, please pay this fee. They're telling you. All right? So all of these instruments, they are evidence of treason. They're evidence of human trafficking. Whenever they ask you for any type of finance in return for anything as a public servant, that's human trafficking. And one of the ways this is absolutely, I mean, there's so many ways, but one way that is absolutely evident is, I call them DBA courts. DBA courts. They are private, foreign, for-profit corporations doing business as the Supreme Court, the Superior Court, the District Court, the Municipal Court, the Traffic Court, the Family Court, the Probate Court, the Juvenile Court. They're all involved in human trafficking. Every last one of them. So when they ask you for any fee, and there's Supreme case law. There's case law that says that when government descends to behave like a corporation, they're no longer acting as government, but they are acting as an ordinary corporation and can be treated accordingly.
Wow.
Hereditary.
That means that if you go to any so-called government and they ask you for a fee, they just declared that they are not government, they're a private, for-profit, foreign corporation.
And they're converting rights into crimes. Whenever a license or fee is attached to a right in law, that's converting a right to a crime. It's treason, human trafficking, and racketeering.
And a violation of your First Amendment rights because you have a right to contract with whomever you please.
And not contract with whoever you choose not to, so you don't have to contract with them.
So when they say in order for you to travel on your land, you must enter into a contract with not just me, but you must enter into a contract with my brother who runs the insurance company, and you must enter into a contract with my sister who runs the revenue generator corporation, and you must enter into a contract with anyone else. That's a violation of your First Amendment right.
All right.
Islam, thank you.
All right.
Keep that in mind when you deal with any of them.
The other thing too, Taj, is that people need to know what's on the marriage license, because I had someone ask me when they went to get a divorce, what they didn't realize is that the divorce is not a divorce, it's just an altering of the contract.
Yes.
Because you got married with the state, that's the third party. You just didn't know that, so you cannot ever divorce.
That's why they come take your
ever.
stuff.
That's why they have attorneys to determine on your divorce who's going to get what and all that.
9 times out of 10, it's in somebody else's name. This is the reason why they can make you do stuff even after the so-called divorce.
Well, we'll have to wait till next. You're the last one. All right.
One statement quick. Yeah, we got to close out. Because we have cake that we want you to get when we close out. It's going to be right here in your house. Who's going to cut it?
Islam, it's for you, Taj, brother. I remember last year, right, when they assassinated Gaddafi, right? Hillary was on TV laughing, talking about we killed the dictator, right? And a couple of days ago, when they killed the ambassador, right? And she was sitting there in front of the Moorish flag, right? She had nothing but grief. You know, I mean, she was hurt so bad when they killed the ambassador. So I just want to see if you want to comment on that. They were happy that they killed Gaddafi, but yet the blowback came, and you can see the grief in her face. So I just
Well, unfortunately, what they've done to everybody else, they're going to start doing to them.
Exactly. And it has already begun.
It's already done. You're right.
The chickens have come home. Did somebody say that? Malcolm X said that a long time ago, right? Yes, exactly. And we have to close, and we do have cake. Is there anybody that wants to cut the cake? The cut pieces? She's going to bring it out right here. Yeah, we're going to close out too first, and then we'll do that. Take it with you. Why, you want to do it? You want to do it? Do you want to do it? Yeah. Oh, I'll do it.
Before we close out, how many of you saw that a video with a brother? He was like, they were trying to kidnap his son out of Idaho. How many of you know his name? Fontaine. All right.
Oh, yeah, that's our friend.
Fontaine heard that I was coming here today, and he wanted me to send his greetings to each and every one of you, and Islam to each and every one of you, and hope you have a wonderful class.
You know what? You just reminded me. Brother Kojo in Canada also emailed. I know, but I didn't check the email. I should have checked it. I feel really bad. I didn't get a chance to check it. He emailed something from Kojo from Canada to give readings to everyone, and so I don't have time to go check it now, even on my phone. So I'll share it next week. We'll be here next week. We're going to talk a little more about the religious. What is, a little bit more about what religion is and why we need to, as it says in the what do we just read, the Article 6. It says where there's no religious test. All right, that's very important because too many people think that, it's about their religion, and it is not. All right, we have a cake, and we want you all to have a slice of it if we can. Yes, there should be enough there. But who's cutting the cake? Oh, Sister Betty. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to close out first, close out with our invocation, and then as you're leaving, you can get a piece of it. Thank you, Sister Betty. Sister Betty will cut the cake, Vashti. All right. Oh, let me pull it. Oh, here's the raffle. Here, I'll pull it. Oh, Sister Betty, you want to pull the raffle for us real quick? Hold on, everyone. We got to...
Shake it up, shake it up.
All right, Selma, what we do is a 50-50, and it goes to the school, Jill handles that charity matter, and then to you, 50%. What's the number?
Say 542-383. Say it again.
542-383.
Who's the lucky winner? I got a nice piece of change for you.
Is that the ticket I didn't
542.
It sounds like the ticket I didn't get.
3. Yeah, 542-383. 542-383.
Check your tickets.
542-383. Good.
Your tickets.
Good.
So it's not 6, 3? It's 11.
Is it 5 or 6? Who got glasses on? Put your glasses on. Is that you? It's a 6? We love your opinions of
Thank you very much.
Now, he really does want to go. Look at that. You can't even got paid. See that? I'm going to go wash my hands. All right. There you are. Where am I leaving guilty there? Who's doing it?
Islam? Islam? We are getting ready to engage in the Moorish American prayer. For those who are willing to participate, 5 on the left hand, 2 on the right hand, feet at a 45-degree angle. For those who are not willing to participate, please sit or stand in silent benediction. Islam?
5 on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat after me. Allah, Father of the universe. Father of love. Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector. My guide. And my salvation. By night and by day. Through the prophets. Through Ali. Also known as Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. Amen. Peace and love.
Take your personal property.
Also, those who are here for the first time, please go back to the book table back there and I'll give you the package that we have. First time, back to the book table there and I'll give you the package.
That's the shit about to come down, right?